Reciprocal teaching is a process that students engage in to help them improve their comprehension of difficult texts. In this first of two segments, Stephanie explains to the class how this process works, followed by a group session of reciprocal teaching in action. There's a definite protocol followed during the session which involves a high level of student participation, talk, and thinking. The end goal of using this strategy is for students to independently and naturally follow the steps to deepen their understanding of any text format.
So over the last few weeks, we've been working with a process called reciprocal teaching. And reciprocal teaching has 4 phases, 4 stages. Okay? What is the first stage in reciprocal teaching? Nina?
Predicting.
Predicting. And what is it that we do when we're predicting? What are we doing when we're predicting? Michael?
You take a guess about what the text is going to be about.
Okay, you're guessing what the text is going to be about, and you're using the cover, the back cover, table of contents. You're scanning the text to kind of take a guess, like you said, about what the text is going to be about. Now, in reciprocal teaching, you actually take your before reading prediction, and then afterwards, you confirm or reject your prediction after you've read the text. So before you read the text, you make your prediction. After reading it, you confirm or reject your prediction. What is the next stage in reciprocal teaching? Vivetha?
Clarifying.
Clarifying. And what is it that you do when you're trying to clarify something?
You're clearing something up that you don't understand.
Clearing something up that you don't understand. You're asking yourself questions like, where is this place located? Or what does this word mean? I'm really confused about this part. So that's how you're clarifying things that you read about. And what's the third stage in reciprocal teaching? Anjali?
Questioning.
And with questioning, we have to make sure we ask deep questions, that we can start asking questions about the author's purpose. We can start thinking about who is this text written for? What is the actual meaning of this text? And the last stage of reciprocal teaching is what? Christy?
Summarizing.
Summarizing. And summarizing is just stating the main ideas as briefly as possible. So in your guided reading groups, you are going to be working on your next session of reciprocal teaching. So you are going to be doing your before reading prediction. You are going to read the selection that was given to you. And then on your graphic organizer, you are going to complete your after reading prediction, any clarifications you need, any questions you have, and you're going to summarize the text. Are there any questions? While you're working on your reciprocal teaching, I'll be meeting with a group.
A small group of students engage in a reciprocal teaching session to support each other in making meaning of a non-fiction text. They predict what the text will be about, clarify areas that are confusing, and ask questions to make meaning. Students give evidence to support their ideas and listen attentively to the thoughts of others. Students reflect on the impact of using reciprocal teaching as a mode of increasing comprehension.
This is our second meeting with this text to do reciprocal teaching, and this text is exploring space. And what we're going to do is go through the process. We're on chapter 2, and I'd like to ask anyone who'd like to be the leader for today's session. Nina, you haven't been a leader so far. Why don't you take it this time?
Okay, today we'll be reviewing what we read yesterday. We've been reading chapter 2, Shooting for the Stars. It's on page 13. Does anyone have any before reading predictions that they would like to share?
I do. I thought that the chapter would be about how they first got to space because the title was Shooting for Stars, but you can't really go to the stars, so I thought that they meant space travel.
My prediction for this part of the text was, I thought this text was going to be about different types of stars and how they are identified. I predicted this because in the title it contains the word stars. Also, I skimmed through the text and I saw pictures of animals. I know that constellations create images, but not only of animals, but also of objects. Lastly, I saw a picture of a boy and a girl using space technologies to look in the sky which looks like it is filled with stars.
After reading the text, does anyone have anything that they would like to share?
I'd like to confirm my part of my prediction when I said the text would be about stars, because inside the text it did talk about different kinds of stars. I would also like to reject my part of my prediction when I said it would be about shooting stars, because it wasn't about shooting stars and it wasn't only about stars.
I would like to confirm my prediction that it was about stars. However, it was also about how students make rockets and a timeline of space. I did not predict that, so yes. Does anyone have any clarifying that they would like to know about words or the text?
On page 14, one of the stories, it mentioned Jupiter. I'd like to know what Jupiter is. Is it a name or a planet?
I think that Jupiter is actually named after a planet, but it's actually named as a god because it says the king of the gods. And Jupiter, as we all know, is one of the biggest planets in the solar system, so that's probably why they called it the king, because Jupiter is also the biggest.
I wondered, what does a phase naked eye mean on page 15?
I think that the naked eye means that without using anything like telescopes, because in the past few centuries we've been using things to enhance the way we look at space.
That's right, and in this section of the text, it's about Galileo before he created the telescope. So before he created the telescope, there were no technology, so you would use the naked eye.
I would also like to know what multi-stage means.
I think that multi-stage means that there are many stages, because my prior knowledge that I know that the word multi means many.
I'd like to add on to what Rebecca said, because in the picture you can see that it's dropping different parts of the body of the rocket, so that it has enough fuel to make it all the way to the moon.